Hi. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Andrés, and I am the owner and founder of Gonzalez and Company Bookkeeping Services. First of all, I want to thank you all who have attended this morning. Sorry for the late start, but we are going to introduce you today to some basics of bookkeeping. So really, we're just going to go ahead and dive in here. The point of these videos are to really help small business owners and individuals who are looking to maybe get a little bit more insider information on basic bookkeeping principles. Or those of you that are currently already doing your own business bookkeeping or small business bookkeeping, but need a little bit more insight. These are going to be videos for those types of individuals. We will not be discussing any personal finance managements. These again will be geared towards small business owners and who are looking to expand their knowledge on bookkeeping, get a little bit extra help or guidance, and so on. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. We're going to go ahead and continue here on with our presentation today. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Feel free to ask your comment or your questions in the comments section, and that way we can get those answered for you. We will be answering some questions at the end. So stay tuned and we'll get to those questions that others have asked so that we can address them at the end. First of all, again, okay, we'll start. Welcome to our Bookkeeping Basics Webinar Series. In this series, we will be covering the fundamental practices of bookkeeping for the importance of bookkeeping, the key financial statements, and tax basics, and things like that. So again, whether you're a business owner, a freelancer, or just a small business, you work at in a small business firm and you want to learn more bookkeeping principles, this is the virtual journey for you. So join us as we dive into the world of bookkeeping. First, we'll start by talking about what bookkeeping is. When I talk to small business owners and you ask about bookkeeping, sometimes, I get this question quite frequently. What is a bookkeeper and what do they do? You heard of a CPA, you typically hear of an accountant, but a bookkeeper, I don't feel gets enough exposure in the accounting process or in the accounting world of small business. So what a bookkeeper is, bookkeepers really help manage the finances. So they help business owners make decisions and meet legal requirements. Bookkeepers also organize financial data using ledgers, journals, and software. So why is that important? Why is that important? That's important because it is essential for managing finances and making informed decisions. It ensures you're compliant, and it is just the foundation of accounting and financial reporting. So in order to get any reports for your business and really look at the health of your business, you have to start with organization and organizing those finances. I know it can be hard as a business owner myself, capturing receipts for expenses and things like that. You're doing 100 different things, but there are skills required for bookkeeping. So kind of keep that in mind. As you grow, small business owners typically can start out doing their bookkeeping on their own. But once you reach this threshold, maybe of 100,000 in gross sales, you really kind of want to look at maybe outsourcing or getting some help with your bookkeeping because and we'll go into more detail as to why later. But some of the skills required for bookkeeping are required. They're a combination of technical skills, attention to detail, and organizational abilities. So if you're someone who is not really organized, you may want to reach out to somebody who can help you with your bookkeeping because organization is going to be key. One big part of the bookkeeping process is going to be the chart of accounts. On the chart of accounts, you ask, what is that? What is the chart of accounts? It is a list of all the accounts a company uses for recording financial transactions. So it helps us organize transactions into specific accounts, making it easier to track them on your financial report. So it all ties together. So the chart of accounts is really your backbone of your financial reports. You want to make sure that you're capturing the right information, and that one that you're capturing the correct data that's going to be useful for your reporting, and two, that it's being done correctly. So you can have a chart of accounts or have a chart of accounts template that someone may have given you or you found online. But if you're not using them correctly or not using them, categorizing your transactions properly, then your reports are not going to be accurate. So therefore, you won't be able to make these financial decisions for your business. So again, talking about that chart of accounts, it's really the backbone of your company's financial recording system, organizing and categorizing those financial transactions. When creating your chart of accounts, you want to make sure that it fits your organization or your company, because not all are the same. There's templates out there online you can get. We're able to provide you as well at Gonzalez and Company Bookkeeping a template for those general chart of accounts. But if you're looking to grow your business, you really want to make sure that you have a customized chart of accounts specific to your business. And a professional bookkeeper would be able to assist you with that customization of those chart of accounts. Moving on to the importance of recording transactions. In order to, one of the biggest responsibilities of a bookkeeper is recording transactions. So this can be a number of things. This can be sales transactions, expense transactions, or other financial activities such as cash, bank transactions, loan transactions, accruals and prepayments, capital transactions, just to name a few. As you can see, these transactions can come in and out of the business in a number of ways. So making sure that those are kept and recorded in your bookkeeping system is very, very important. So you want to make sure that if you're doing your own bookkeeping, that you understand how to record financial activities that impact your business financials. That includes payroll, loans, and investments. So again, going back to starting out a business, if you're just starting out, again, you may not have payroll, you may not have any loans, so your bookkeeping is quite simple. But again, as you grow and you gain more capital, or you have loans, or you start having to pay employees, more work is involved to make sure that organization or the organization of those financial records are kept accurately. So never be afraid to ask for help. There are professionals out there, such as Gonzalez and Company Bookkeeping, that help companies of all sizes to get organized with payroll, with chart of accounts, whatever it is you may need. But just kind of keep that in mind. You don't have to do it yourself. You can call on a professional, and that will work here. I'm sorry here. Sorry. All right. We're going to go back into double entry accounting. So when you're doing your accounting, or when you're bookkeeping, the best way to do that is double entry accounting. I have a number of clients who asked me, what is double entry accounting? So you have to have just kind of keep this in the back of your head for a little bit. Just process that you do have to have in order to be a good bookkeeper or for the best for your business, you want to have some knowledge of the accounting processes and double entry accounting. So double entry accounting, it's a fundamental system used in bookkeeping and financial accounting. It's based on the principle that every financial transaction at least has it has two effects. So it's recording a debit and it's recording your credit. And in turn, what this does is it's balancing your accounts. This ensures that every transaction is recorded and that it is recorded properly in your books. And the benefits of the double entry accounting system is it provides a solid framework for organizing your financial information and facilitating decision making to promote transparency, which are essential elements for successful operations and growth of any business. We're going to go back into what two types of accounting there are for bookkeeping. So you have your cash and your accrual accounting. When you start out, you want to make sure that you choose the right bookkeeping method for your business. So if you're unsure, make sure to reach out to a professional and discuss that so that you're making the right decision for your business. Basically, cash basis accounting, it's just an accounting method that recognizes revenue and expenses only when the cash is received or paid out. So if you offer a service, right, and it's paid out to you, you invoice and pay at the same time, then that is a cash transaction. Now, if you're offering some sort of PO, purchase order on there or terms payments, then that is a little bit different. So in accrual basis accounting, transactions are recorded when the economic activity occurs. So even if the actual cash flow happens at a later date, they record the transaction. So basically, if you do a big job and say you have not, if you're in the service industry, if you do a big job and you maybe get $10,000 for that deposit, on an accrual basis accounting, you will capture, say it's $50,000. You'll capture that whole $50,000 in your books at that time as income. And the reason that's done, that's again with larger companies, it's usually best to do accrual when you're in a certain stage in your business. But again, make sure you talk to a professional to help make that determination because there's a lot of individual things that can be different for each business. But again, the accrual basis is going to make sure the purpose of that is it aims to provide more accurate representation of the company's financial position and performance it matches the revenues with the expenses incurred, offering a clear picture of the company's financial health. So you're no longer looking at just this certain period, you're looking further on, which gives you a better look into your company's financial health. So again, gain insight. If you're doing this on your own, make sure you're gaining insight into which accounting method is suitable for your business needs based on your business size, revenue, and your goals. Now we go on to reconciliation. Bank reconciliations you'll want to do every month. What is it? It's the process used to compare and match the balances in your company's accounting records with the balances shown on the bank statements. The goal of the bank reconciliation is to ensure that the company's records are accurate and complete, and to identify any discrepancies between the company's records and the bank records. So doing this, I find as a small business owner, it's very easy to get behind. This is where I come in to help a lot of small business owners first, because they've just been overwhelmed with the day-to-day that they can't get their banks reconciled. This is very important, and let me tell you why. The benefits of reconciling monthly and regularly, it's important internal control process that helps detect errors, fraud, or unauthorized transaction. And it also ensures that the company's financials records are accurate and reliable. And you want to make sure that any discrepancies are identified and resolved promptly. And in order to do that, we have to ensure that they're being reconciled and closed out each month. If you need help or you get behind, again, this is the beginning of the process for your bookkeeping. Without making sure that the information that shows in your accounting system is accurate to the bank statements, then it goes back to your reports are as good as the data you input. So in order to have accurate data, you want to make sure you're reconciling your bank statements each month. In turn, those processes that we spoke of so far will be able to generate financial statements. There are three major financial statements that you want to look for in your bookkeeping. Whether you're doing it yourself, you want to make sure your accounting system or software is you're pulling these reports and looking at them each month, or if you have a professional bookkeeper or accountant that you're looking at these and ensuring that they're accurate each month. So you're going to get an income statement. You're going to get an income statement, which most of you probably know as a P&L or profit and loss. It is one of the major financial statements that provides a summary of the company's revenues, expenses, and profit and losses over a specific time period. This report gives insight to the company's financial performance and whether it's generated a net profit or incurred a loss during the designated period. So really the P&L is going to show you for whatever period, typically a month period, that's going to take all your sales or all your generated income, deduct all of your expenses, and it's going to leave you with a dollar value, which then would be your profit or loss, hence the name, for your company. You're going to get or want to generate a balance sheet. This is also a major financial report, but it provides a little bit of different information. It provides a snapshot of the company's financial position for the specific period of time. And what that shows, it shows what the company owns, so all the assets, what the company owes, all its liabilities, and the residual interest belonging to the owners, which is equity, on any particular date. So the balance sheet follows the fundamental accounting equation: assets equals liabilities plus equity. So that gives you a larger insight or better insight into your company's actual health. If you need help reading or understanding what the balance sheet is, make sure to reach out to someone like Gonzalez and Company, or to a professional that can help educate you on reading these statements and understanding what you're looking at and where your company financial health is. The third major financial statement that's that we provide our clients as well is the cash flow statement. What the cash flow statement is, it's really it is a summary of the company's cash inflows and outflows over a specific period of time. So it shows how the cash moves in and out of your business, providing valuable insight into its operating, investing, and financing activities. One of the things that you'll also want to make sure you're doing, another thing you want to make sure you're doing is budgeting and forecasting. Now, keep in mind, budgeting and forecasting is going to come into play after your bookkeeping is accurate and up to date, because without that information, you're unable to do these tasks. So just kind of keep that in mind. It all starts at the beginning, which is recording those transactions and categorizing them properly. So in order to get to this part, you want to make sure that the information is accurate. So why budgeting is important for any business? Budgeting is a powerful tool for financial management. It empowers businesses to take control of their finances, allows them to make more informed decisions, and it works towards achieving their financial objectives. Each business and business owner is going to have different goals. So you want to make sure that when you're budgeting, that you are budgeting and setting realistic financial goals, that you're monitoring the progress, and that you adjust the plans as needed. It doesn't have to be set in stone. And I think that's where a lot of business owners add additional stress to themselves. You're going to have ups and downs in the business. But the thing is, you want to make sure that these goals are realistic for your period. So again, talk to a professional, talk to someone who has insight to working with smaller companies, so that you are able to ensure you're making the right plans for your business, and that you are setting realistic goals. Sometimes you do need that second set of eyes or third pair of eyes to look at your information, so that you can be told, or you can be, it's kind of checking your expectations. I know that I do that a lot as well. I can set a goal, or, I get ambitious, and I have my team take a look at it with me, and, they help me set those realistic goals. So if you're a small business owner and you're doing this all yourself, it's not ideal, a lot of times that you are doing that yourself. You need a second pair of eyes. So make sure you're talking to a professional or continuing to watch our webinars so that you can learn and get the information you need to better record these transactions in your company's books. And what that does, again, budgeting just really enhances financial stability and long-term prosperity, which is everybody wants. Forecasting is basically, I call is a little bit of an art. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of things out there that will take data from your books and, create these reports for you for forecasting, trying to predict what your revenue is going to be based on historical data. But again, this goes back to ensuring the basics of bookkeeping, right? To get here to the financial forecasting and budgeting, we need to make sure your books start out properly, because if they're not, and it's hard to do these things and forecast. But basically, again, the financial forecasting is a financial. It involves predicting the company's financial future performance based on historical data, current trends, and various assumptions. It is definitely a vital aspect of the financial planning and decision making, helping businesses set realistic goals, allocate resources, and identify potential risks and opportunities. All right. So now we've covered, I know it's a lot of information, and this is just the basics. So we're covering a lot of data here. We're covering a lot of information today, but we're going to be diving deep throughout the webinar series. We will be diving into each of these topics in a little bit more detail. So if you're not getting what you need now, or you have more questions about a specific topic or area, feel free to also write those comments in the section, in the comment section, and we'll get those answered. But also make sure you're following our Facebook pages and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we will be diving in to specific sections of basic bookkeeping throughout this process, throughout this series. So you'll want to stay up to date with our live videos. So after your bookkeeping, after you get your reports each month, and on top of everything, you're doing your bookkeeping, you're up to date, you're reconciling every month, you have your budgets together, you have your year forecasted out, and then what comes next? You come to the end of the year, and what time is it? It's time to do your taxes, right? The time of the year everybody loves. And in order to do that, you have all your stuff together, right? you've been good. You've been a good business owner. You've done everything you're supposed to do right. Right. Some of y'all are probably shaking your heads or stressing out. It's a stressful time of year for a lot of individuals. But if you keep up with your bookkeeping and you do this in, every month, with help, or that you just make sure you're doing it, or have somebody, um, in your company doing these tasks, it makes tax season so much easier. One, for yourself, you're not stressing about it. You're not freaking out. You're not adding additional stress. It's just after the holidays. Who wants additional stress? So you're not adding that stress to yourself, and you're not adding that stress to your accountant, or CPA, or tax preparer. So, and it makes it easier and usually less costly for you to do your taxes. So in turn, by doing the basics, you're going to be saving money and stress and headaches at the beginning of the year. I mean, who does not want to have less stress and save money? I know I like both of those things. So just kind of make sure that it all ties together, and understand that doing your taxes and doing your books all ties together for your business from beginning to end. And that's why I've decided to make these videos to help business owners who, whether you're just starting out, whether you've been in business for 5 to 20 years, everybody's at a different stage, but for whatever it is, I hope the information we're providing is able to help you along your journey, and get you the information you need to run a successful business. Some of the bookkeeping things, or some of the bookkeeping items for tax preparation and why that makes it easier, some of the documents that they're going to need when they prepare your taxes are your financial document statements, which you've been, wanting to, which you're kept up with for the year. So businesses typically need to prepare and submit various financial documents to comply with tax regulations, which can depend on business structure and the complexity of the financial situation. So you really, during this time of the year, during tax season, you really, really, really want to make sure you're talking to a tax preparer, accountant, CPA, someone who has experience in doing taxes and has being able to do this properly. So, which this leads us into our last and final topic for today, which is software and tools. So we've talked all the way from the beginning, again, from the basics of the bookkeeping process, from categorization to your chart of accounts, to recording those properly, to reconciliation, all the way budgeting and forecasting, all the way through tax preparation. There are some tools that can help you throughout this process, help you with this process throughout the year. You want to make sure, if you're doing your bookkeeping yourself, that you do explore different bookkeeping softwares that can help streamline and automate your bookkeeping processes, including pros and cons, pricings, and features. So if you do need help choosing a software, there's a lot out there. Gonzalez and Company Bookkeeping does have certified bookkeepers that are certified in QuickBooks Online. So if you want to talk, feel free to reach out to us using the link below. You can get in contact with us or shoot us a message, and we'll be happy to talk to you and help you choose the software that is best for your business, or in your the stage where you're currently at. Other resources include, if you're doing bookkeeping yourself, there are a lot of resources, books, courses, templates, and tutorials that you can utilize. You can simply search online, or continue to follow us here at Gonzalez and Company Bookkeeping, because we'll be providing books and templates, tutorials, etc. In the future as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. You want to make sure you're streamlining your bookkeeping processes if you're doing this yourself, because that's going to make everything better. If you don't have best practices or good practices, it's going to make everything harder for you, and you're not going to be getting accurate data for your company. So it really just boils down on how to choose the right tools. So you want to learn, again, when you're looking for a bookkeeper or you're looking for software, you want to learn about the best practices for selecting the right bookkeeping tools for your business. And that involves the needs such as your industry, your budget, the complexity, and the required level of automation. So again, there's a number of things that go into ensure you're using the most appropriate software for your business. So talking to someone, having a consultation with someone who knows what they're talking about is kind of key. Don't be scared to reach out to someone. We don't know everything, so make sure you're utilizing the tools that are out there and the resources that are out there for a business owner. I want to go ahead and that really concludes the information I have for today's Bookkeeping Basics Webinar Series. This is our first video. I want to go ahead and go to some questions here that we got along the way and see if we can get those answered. Let's see. One of the questions we have is, how often should I reconcile my bank accounts? Well, monthly. When you ensure that you're reconciling your, as told previously in the video, that we went over reconciliation, the best practice is monthly to ensure that you can catch any errors or discrepancies quickly and get them resolved. What financial, it says, what records do I need to keep for tax purposes? You'll want to make sure that you're keeping all of your receipts, whether any expenses, make sure you're keeping all of those because your tax preparer will need those at the end of the year. But also make sure you talk to your tax preparer, your accountant, or your bookkeeper, whoever's handling your business financials. Make sure you talk to them and see if you can start to plan. They'll be able to kind of guide you more on what exactly you need. But it's best practices to keep any record, any receipt that you have, any of your tax filings you have throughout the year. If you're running payroll, you're going to get 941s that are being filed quarterly for you. So just make sure, again, you're staying organized. That is key. All right. And I think that actually, let's see. Oh, it looks like I had one more question. Let's see here. What is the difference between bookkeeping and accounting? That is a very good question. So we just went over all of the bookkeeping and what we do as a bookkeeper. But understanding the difference of the bookkeeper and accountant is going to be a little bit more understanding the accounting process. So a bookkeeper helps with making sure your organization of your financial transactions are recorded properly into your chart of accounts, all the day-to-day, your expenses, your payroll, your daily transactions. Think of that. That's what your bookkeeper is doing. Your accountant is someone who they can be a CPA certified public accountant, or they can be an accountant who is not a CPA, and both are great. Both are fine. Both have a CPA is really going to be your higher educated individuals who have higher in-depth training for states. So again, there's complexity based on your business. So ensuring that you're working with the proper person, whether you need a bookkeeper, accountant, CPA, starting by talking with the bookkeeper or someone like Gonzalez and Company Bookkeeping, that will help determine what services you need for your business as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. Bookkeeper is really going to be focused on your day-to-day. Accountant's going to be more high level, ensuring that their reports are accurate, doing your taxes, any planning of sorts of things like that. So these were all great questions. And I hope that this webinar gave you some helpful information. Again, we do have our links at the bottom of the page, our Facebook link, LinkedIn, and additional ways to get in contact with us. Once again, my name is Andrés with Gonzalez and Company Bookkeeping. I hope this was informative for you. Feel free to reach out to us and ask us any questions. I really want to help business owners with anything that they may need when it comes to organizing their finances. So thank you for your time today. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you again in our next webinar series. Make sure to follow us to keep up to date when that will be. Have a great day.